Hi, in this tutorial, I'm going to explain how to create a database schema and then how to grant the permission to access those schema content. Now, remember, even though we have created the object in SAP HANA, we do not have the permission to access those object. So all the objects which you are going to create in our HANA system are going to be internally created by a database user called as a underscore sys underscore repo. It's like a system repository user which is going to take care of creating all the repository object in the database server. So even though we have created the object, we also wanted to go ahead and give the permission for us to access those object. Only when we have the authorization to access those object, we will be able to work on that. Now, first we will discuss on schema. So database schema, it's basically like a mini database within your server inside which you are going to group logically related development artifacts, basically the database repository objects which you are going to create, such as you are going to logically group the tables, views, procedures, structures, then sequence which is equivalent to number range object in our ABAP system. So this kind of system repository object, you are going to logically group under one main category called as a schema. So now we will go ahead and see how to create a schema, and then we will also see how to grant privilege on schema so that we can actually see the schema content. So before I go to create a table or structure or view, we would actually need a schema. So first step, we will construct a database schema. So now I'm going to create a new project here. So I'm creating a new project, which is an access project, and I'm going to give the name as exercise 3 and click on next. Then choosing the repository workspace and I click on next. So now here you can actually see that there is a schema input column in which you have this file extension as .hdb schema. So what you can do is whatever is the name of the schema that you wanted to construct, you can just give the schema name over here. And once you give the schema name, you can also see that the DDL file input also would have been enabled. So this is a newer version of a file HDBDD in which you are going to create all the tables and structures and all those things. And when I create this, it is by default going to create the schema object. So we are not going to do that. We will go ahead and we will manually create our own schema file and then we will create it. Okay, so I'm just leaving these two columns empty and I click on finish. Choose the change, and so now my application project has been created and has been shared with the server. So now I'm going to create a schema. So if I wanted to create a schema, we need to create a file with an extension .hdb schema. So only based upon the file extension which we are going to create, we are going to specify the type of the repository object which you are going to create. Now, in HANA, we use something called as a file-based repository object. The reason behind that is that now, let's say for example, if you go to the system section, you will be able to actually see the server which you have configured. Now, select the server and you can say click on SQL command. Now, here you can directly execute your structured query language for creating the schema such as create schema, and you can give the name for the schema and you can execute it. Now, if I'm going to say that this structured query language, whatever I have written over here, it's going to execute that SQL statement and it is going to execute as it is going to create a schema internally into this DB. Now, if I'm going to use this kind of environment to work, now let's say we have an system landscape such as we have development system, we have quality system, and we have production system. Now what we would have to do is we would end up creating and executing this SQL language in each of the system. Now when I'm in the development phase, I have to go and execute the schemas and I have to go and execute the structured query language for creating the table and all the other related informations over here, so that that development artifacts will be created in the DB. Now when I move my application project to this quality system or production system, the database and the schema which we have created may not be available over there. So we will end up going there to this quality system and production system, and there we will execute the structured query language directly, which is not an advisable one. So to transport the artifacts across the systems, we are going to go ahead with the file based approach in which I will create a file, and upon activating that particular file, that respective object will be created. Now when I move this file from development system to the quality system, when the file gets activated in the quality system, that respected artifact should have been created. So that's the reason we are not going to create the repository object directly using the structured query language in the server. Instead, we are going to use the file based approach. And the type of the file that I'm going to develop depends upon the file extension which I'm going to create. Now to create the schema, I need to actually have to create a file with an extension .hdb schema. Now whenever you are going to name this schema, you should be careful that whatever is the file name that you're going to provide for the schema is the same file name that you should provide for the schema as well. So the file name and the schema name should be same. So that is basically how the system will be able to identify what is the schema which you are creating. Now I'm going to give the schema name as C5195137, basically my user, and I'm going to give this as exercise. So whatever is the schema, so whatever the development which you are going to do as a part of this series of exercises, I'm going to put into this schema C5195137.exercise, and I'm giving the file extension as HDB schema, which is basically HANA database schema. Okay, so I have given the file name with the extension, and I click on finish. So now you can see that my file has been created, and now I need to create the schema. Now to create the schema, the command is quite simple. All you need to do is this particular file system expect only one parameter, which is the schema name. So what is the schema name that you are going to create? So I have to give the exact file name whatever I have given for the file to the schema name attribute. So now system is going to take this, and it is going to create a schema upon activation. So I have stored this file, and I'm going to activate this file by right clicking on it, team activate. So I give a change here and I click on finish. So now my schema has been created. So you can see that my file has been committed and activated with that orange indication. Now if I go to the systems, and in the catalog, if I try to find something, if I try to find my schema, say for example C5195137. So I wanted all the schema name which starts with the C5195137. Now if I'm going to say okay, so now system is going to search for the schema which are available with this particular name, whatever is the matches. Now we can see that there are two schemas which I can see, but I couldn't see the schema which I have actually created, that is C5195137 underscore exercise. The reason is because I have created the schema, but I do not have the authorization to access the schema content. That is because I do not have the privilege to access that. So if I wanted to have the privilege, I should grant the permission for that. So for that, you will actually have to go to the SQL command prompt, and here I'm going to grant the schema privileges. So for that, I'm going to call a procedure, a standard procedure, and I'm going to give what are the schema operations that I can do. Say for example, call is the keyword which you use to use the call the procedure, and with the system repo user, I'm going to call a procedure which is called grant schema privilege on activated content. So there is a procedure called grant schema privilege on activated content. Now this schema, it takes this procedure, it takes three importing parameters. The first parameter is going to be what is the operation that you wanted to grant permission to. So that is basically going to be like whether user can select the values from this database schemas, or he can insert the values, or he can update, or he can delete. So basically we are going to give this authorization. So in this exercise, I'm just going to give the authorization for select. So the first parameter I'm giving as a select, and the second parameter is going to be the name of the schema for which I'm going to grant the permission. So I have given the schema name. So remember, I have to put it in single quotes. So I have given the schema name, and the third parameter is going to be the user for whom I'm going to grant the permission on the schema. So I have called this procedure and I have executed, I'm asking it to give a select permission for this particular schema for this particular user. Now I execute this select statement. Okay. Sorry, I have placed a semicolon over here, so we are not supposed to place the semicolon there. So I have executed this schema and I have activated it. Now here you can see the message that the schema statement has been successfully executed. Now if I go ahead and refresh this filter criteria, then you can actually see that the schema for which we have granted the permission will also be displayed under my catalog folders. So now inside the schema, I can create these development artifacts like tables, triggers, views, synonyms, sequence, procedures, and all those things. So now that we have created the schema, in the next tutorial, we will see how to create the database table. Thank you.